heart of the Appalachian Mountains. This is the Alex Morgan Show.
And hey guys, we're live here broadcasting from beautiful Hyden, Kentucky on this May 7th, Sunday edition of the Alex Morgan Show. We got a lot to talk about today as the Socialist candidate, what's his name? Emmanuel Macron, the Socialist candidate. His campaign was hacked, and wouldn't you know it, they're going to blame it on the Russians. Of all people, the Russians. I've actually been checking out a little Wikileaks today, and there's not very much posted on Wikileaks as of now concerning Macron. You can go to wikileaks.com and type in the search. There's very, very little. In fact, you can type in Emmanuel Macron hack, and there's nothing that pops up. However, you can type in Emmanuel Macron, and you get various emails. So, here's one that sounds interesting. Portray us on North America, the next great emerging market? ? Let's check this one out. This email was sent from Graham T. Allison at hks.harvard.edu to Podesta. John Podesta, matter of fact. Subject: portray us on North America, the great emerging market? ? The Belfer Center is fortunate to count among its senior fellows General David Petraeus. Yesterday, we released his visionary report about 4 clusters of technological information that could unleash substantial economic growth across North America in coming decades. Titled The Big Great Emerging Market, Capitalizing on North America's 4 Interlocking Revolutions. This report is the culmination of the project Dave has been working on over the past year. He and his co-author, nearly minted Harvard's Business School graduate Paris Baini, explain why deep market integration and technology-fueled innovation in energy, manufacturing, life sciences, and information technology can defy today's gloomy wealth projections, but only if we play our policy cards carefully. On their own, trafficking, big data, personalized medicine, and 3D printers are noteworthy but not game-changing. Their synergy makes them revolutionary. The drilling advances that have expanded reserves and lowered prices for oil and gas are not only improving energy independence but also enabling a resurgence of manufacturing, where advanced robotics are raising engineering standards and low costs. These transformations are synergetic but not self-sustaining. Policies Decisions we make today will have high impact on tomorrow's opportunities. Will members of Congress help unleash an era of prosperity unseen in generations, or get in the way? Leaving no room for doubt, Dave and Paris developed a top 10 list of the most important steps Congress can take. I have attached that list along with the main report here for your viewing. Your thoughts always are welcome. Best regards, Graham T. Allison, Director, Belfer Center of Science and International Affairs. Yeah, that there was nothing in that email concerning Macron. That right there may have been the one I was reading earlier. I don't know. But let's check out this interesting article on the Wall Street Journal today. I just ran across it this morning. It's a pretty good article. I read about 3/4 of it already. They've already changed it though. The article I had here isn't here no more. According to this though, Macron wins the French presidency. That is a new one on me. That is breaking news, I guess. Here's this article. Emmanuel Macron wins French presidency. Election of 39-year-old political novice over far-right candidate Marine Le Pen marks major victory for pro-EU establishment. This article was written by William Horben and Stacy Meachtree. Updated May 7th at 3:31 p.m. So that was about 27 minutes ago. In Paris, Emmanuel Macron was elected president of France Sunday in a watershed victory that hands the political newcomer a strong mandate to overhaul France's economy and stem a tide of nationalism sweeping the European Union. Early projections showed 65.5% of voters cast ballots for Mr. Macron, a 39-year-old former investment banker who has vowed to undertake conscientious labor reforms in France as part of a push for greater economic convergence among the European Union's fractious member states. Marine Le Pen, who ran on a plan to pull the country out of the euro and close its borders to migrants, took 34.5%. She conceded minutes after early projections were announced. The euro rose by around 0.2% to $1.102 against the dollar, forming the results, taking the common currency to its highest level since the U.S. presidential election in November. Macron will become the youngest president in France's history at a time when France and the European Union, the 60-year-old political project it helped found, face major challenges. Nearly a decade of lost economic growth for many EU countries has fueled the rise of Ms. Le Pen and other nationalists across the continent. Emboldened by the British vote to leave the EU or Brexit and election of U.S. President Donald Trump. In conceding defeat, Mrs. Le Pen vowed to refashion her far-right National Front Party as the country's leading opposition force. Ms. Le Pen said, quote, "This runoff brought a major reconfiguration of the political order around the divide between patriots and globalists," end quote. In the coming weeks, Mr. Macron will face a scramble to build his fledgling political party in marche, or ever how you say that French word, which means on the move, into a political force capable of winning a majority in June's legislative elections. And Marche has so far refused forge alliances with mainstream parties and has only named a handful of candidates it intends to field in the 577 seats up for grabs. If Mr. Macron fails to secure a majority, he would have to seek ad hoc alliances with opposition parties, or could even be forced into a so-called cohabitation, a form of power sharing under which a prime minister from the opposition runs the government. Mr. Macron built a political base around the support from urban professionals who embrace his prescription of loosening France's labor code to make it easier to hire and fire workers. Such measures aim to create a workforce that can more easily adapt disruptions caused by globalization and technological change. His election marks a major victory by the pro-EU establishment. Mr. Macron ran as a staunch defender of the bloc, positioning himself as a bulwark against Europe's nationalist wave. The strategy broke with parts of France's political mainstream that had been gravitating towards more populist positions. Mr. Macron has said the EU's future depends on whether its shanky architecture can undergo a root and branch overhaul to correct sharp economic imbalances among wealthier northern and poorer southern members and develop security apparatus able to protect the bloc from terror attacks and control a recent wave of migration. For that to happen, he says France needs to start an example among countries that have been slow to embrace economic restructuring by loosening its own rigid labor market to become more competitive with stronger neighborhoods like Germany. Those mammoth tasks fall to relative newcomers to politics. Until now, Mr. Macron has never held elected office. He was trained in elite French academies to become a high-ranking civil servant, but switched to a career in investment banking, joining Rothschild and Sy at the height of the financial crisis. On Sunday, supporters of the mainstream parties knocked out in April coalescence behind Mr. Macron to secure his victory. Voters appeared unmoved by the massive leak of emails and documents purportedly from the Macron campaign, which were posted to the internet Friday evening.